So why dreaming is essential to accelerate environmental innovations. So I would like to share the story from a small village located in Flores Island called Wairabo. So to give you a better context, Wairabo is located in small island, and then they surrounded by impact forests. To reach there is no road access, no electricity, no communication line. And then somehow when I want to use my phone, I need to go at least an hour to walk. And if you're lucky, the weather is clear and you can start using your phone. And somehow they quite struggle to thrive during this age, because they need to survive in the midst of catastrophic environment, and then with the economic burden, and younger people are leaving the village. But somehow, meet Alex. So Alex, I call him Ame Alex, is one of the leader of the tribes. He has a really strong dream, so he leads his community with strong dream. So his dream is he wants to saving the environment, preserving the culture, while still giving benefit to the community. But how did he do that? So Wairabo is well known of two things. First, it's architecture. The second one is it's coffee, organic coffee farming. So I was sent there to recording all of the activities of rebuilding of Baruniang, one of the traditional houses. So since 2008 until 2015, it successfully built 7 houses and receiving the highest excellency award from UNESCO. For me personally, it's not just a building. It's they already implementing sustainable architecture, which I used to have it only from Western reference. But it's already there. So we have it in our backyard. So when they try to build this house, they try to resource from responsible materials, and then they implementing zero carbon footprint. And they have a really good designs, adapting with the nature against earthquake and storm weather. So when they try to cut one tree, they need to grow at least 100 trees. They don't use any concrete and steel, even though they can build a 5-story building. Recently, they also installed a solar panel just to generate electricity during the day. Imagine this village is having no electricity. So nowadays, this building generating many things. So that not only all of the traditions are coming back, younger generations is involved to the all activities there. And somehow, they also generate additional income from the tourism. So if I recommend you, so if you had a chance to visit this village, please stay longer. They're providing a really good hospitality. I can assure you. I mean, this is the best experience I have so far. So if you stay longer, you can feel the experience living with the community. And somehow you can also taste or drink their specialty coffee. So imagine, so you drink a coffee sourced from impact forest, which no pollutions in the radius of 20 kilometers. And then they only pick the red cherry, handpicked and sorted by local farmers who live a sustainable living. But somehow, they quite struggle to find a best buyer. So when they try to sell the coffee to the local market, most of them are only give a value about $1 per kilo. which is quite low. So we try to continue our project there, collaborate with the UNDP, get support from them, and then they helping them to connect with the local co-op coffee farmers in Bandung to equip them with the organic coffee farming. Can we go the slide one way? One way? Okay. Yeah. So it's really great. So they can now growing the coffee more organic. They try to only handpick the red cherry, not the green one. And then they try to use organic fertilizer. And somehow, coffee is one of the agroforestry that is suitable to cohabit with the trees. So they don't need to cut their trees to generate additional income. Nowadays, the coffee valued 5 times, from $1 to $5. And then they sold it overseas. So if you are interested to taste their coffee, there is only 2 ways. First, you can go to the Antwerp, Belgium, the biggest coffee port in the world, or you can just visit their village. So recently, Alex was passed away. It's pretty sad, but somehow we are very grateful to having him, because otherwise all of these ideas, all of these projects won't be happen. Because somehow he's quite supportive and quite open with the new ideas, which also having possibilities to be felt. And I learned many things from him about how can we do well and do good in the same time. Do well means I can earn money, I can gain some profit. Doing good means I can give impact to this society or environment. And he showed us he can do it at the same time, which lead me, or inspired me to continue my next journey, entrepreneurial journey. I was thinking about, is there any possibility to create something, making money, and then giving benefit to the environment? So before I start, I would like to ask you some questions. So if you are wearing or using any leather product, either it's animal or synthetic leather, either it's a bag, wallet, or shoes, please raise your hand. Is there anyone using leather items? I can see some. Yes? Yeah, so I also like a leather product. Somehow it's very versatile materials. It developed since 100 years ago. But somehow, it costs us a lot. So our leather product that we wear today is polluting. But today I would like to share the story, the good news, that mushroom can save it. So after the viable project, going back to Bandung, one slide back. And then we tried to explore the agribusiness about doing mushroom farming. And so co-founder and I, and my co-founder and I, started this business. My background is architecture, my co-founder is biotech engineer. So we wondered, is there any possibilities to combine our multidisciplinaries? And then we just thinking, is there any possibility to create a building materials out of mushroom? I know it's crazy idea. Somehow some people say, Adi, are you sure you're not consuming shroom? I can totally assure you that I'm totally sober. And yeah, but somehow there are a lot of people, crazy people out there, are buying the idea. So one of the example is coming from ETH and Karlsruhe Institute. So they are one of the world-class uni in Switzerland and Germany. And then we try to explore creating a mushroom composite. And then with the help of digital fabrication, we successfully built replacing concrete and steel to create a structural element for low-rise building. And then it showcased in Seoul Architecture Biennale. Somehow, with these materials, we can also harvest a paper-like materials. And until 2018, my friend, who also sneaker brand owner in Bandung, asked me, "Hey Andy, can we create or use your paper-like material as a sneaker?" Not really sure back then, but somehow our team figuring out how to turn it into more flexible, can-mimicking leather, like the product like this, and the product that I wear today, like this watch straps and this sneaker. So from our humble beginning, selling gourmet mushrooms, now we want to bring this technology to the biggest polluting industry in the world, fashion. So I just got the data, shocking data that industry from apparel and footwear are producing 2.1 billion tons of CO2 emissions annually. And then it's getting worse that 38% of it coming from natural productions. So when we're talking about these materials, we can harvest only 60 days instead of doing 2 years, growing the cattles from the beginnings. And then somehow we can do vertical farming. So it doesn't require huge land spaces. And if you try to throw it, it can fully decompose, naturally decompose under the soil in just 20.8 weeks. And if you're talking about the animal leather, it took about 200 weeks. Another thing that we want to measure is from life cycle analysis. So we wondered, can we go back another one slide? So we wondered how we compare it with conventional bovine leather tannery process from the L, it's called CA. So we can see this material can save 70% of water, 68% reducing global warming potentials, and 70% reducing energy consumptions. So in terms of doing well, yes, this idea works pretty well. Sorry, doing good is pretty well. But how about doing well? Do people buy it? Can we use it? Is it having similar performance like a leather? So in the past 2 years, we did product market fit just to make sure that these items are meet their requirements. So we collaborate with many brands, starting from small things. So we collaborate with local artisans to create a jewelry out of these materials. And then another thing is we create watch straps. It is getting more difficult because it's a wearable product. We wear it every day, somehow from animal leather. Since they are still using harmful chemicals like chromiums and heavy metals, it's causing skin irritations. So since we don't use any of those harmful substances, we don't have any issue about that. The next one is we collaborate with the sandals producers in Indonesia. They've done pretty well. They sold it to Japan for the exclusive market. And then they just not only tapping a new market, but they quadruple their profit margin as well. And until last year was a historical moment for us. We joined or participated at Paris Fashion Week, collaborate with LVMH prize-winning designers called Doblet from Japan. So they successfully create 8 articles, including these badass leather jacket made entirely from our mycelium leather. So they like the products, and somehow they double down the orders. They want to bring it to the market. So it's a ready-to-use runway. So means that after the runway, they can sell the products. So I think during the COVID, it's a really hard moment for the fashion industry. So people are struggling, but somehow all the brands use this as a watershed moment that they double down their investment towards innovations. The reason is because they want going back as business as usual again. So now we have one dream that accelerate these innovations, bring it to the market, so people can start saving the environment from their closet. So I think today world history is filled with the leaders or dreamers that change the world. So leaders who have courage, who has a courage faith, they don't afraid about dreaming. And I hope today you will see a different way. How powerful is the dream to create impactful change from the smallest community in Wairabo, and then from our small business in Bandung. It starts from the dream. But again, there's another issue that recently, it's quite shocked that we become the top climate denials in the world. What happened, guys? What happened to us? So I know it's pretty ironic, and then, but I think we don't have much more times until 2050, 2045 to meet the zero carbon or net zero. So I think net zero target or jargon won't stop climate change, but your dream can. So I'm Adi. Let's be a daydreamers for change. Thank you.